Hello guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a great week. For today's video, I wanted to share a realistic guide on how to finally build that dream wardrobe that you've always wanted. So if you've been feeling frustrated with your style and are ready to make a change this year, then this video is for you. So it all starts with figuring out your style, because you can't build yourself a good wardrobe until you really figure out what kind of clothes do you enjoy wearing. And I would highly recommend at the beginning of this process to get yourself a notebook that you can write down all your insights and style goals. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, what kind of style or clothing do you gravitate towards? What do you notice yourself wearing? What kind of images kind of speak to you if you save any pictures on like Pinterest or Instagram? Are there any outfits that you've seen that you really want to try to recreate? And if that's not something you ever thought about, maybe take an hour and go on Pinterest and then like search for some images and see if there's anything that you're drawn towards. Another question that you can ask yourself is, can you describe your dream style in 2 or 3 words? And I think this is a really great exercise because it can really tell us what kind of vibe we want to have when it comes to our style. So my summer style words are California casual, because the vibe that I like to go for in the summer is just like super carefree, airy and flowy. And then for my fall winter style, the words that I have are minimal, cozy, clean, and modern. So think about that for yourself, come up with a couple of words, and that will help you again get started with what kind of style you want to have. And if this is starting to sound super overwhelming, then I do have like a step-by-step guide to finding your style on my channel, and I'm gonna link it up in the cards somewhere and also in my description box. So I highly recommend you watch that after this video, and that will help you find your style even more. So the next step in this process is to have a general knowledge of your body type and how you want your clothes to fit you. And I don't think this is super important. You can live your life without ever knowing what your body type is, but I think there can be so much great benefits when you do. So number one, I think it's super comforting just to learn that there are lots of women out there with the same body type as you, because that's something that I didn't know. Growing up, I have a pretty like straight rectangular body, and I had a lot of friends that had like nice hourglass shapes, and I remember being so unhappy with my body and thinking like, how can I get a waist that goes in and has that nice shape? How can I get hips? And I thought that you could do that somehow with exercise, but obviously that's not true. That's not how my body is made. So just knowing that brings so much like freedom that you're like, oh, this is my body. It's actually not gonna change, and let me just learn how to dress it in a way that feels really good. So yeah, I would recommend just Googling like body types. Try to identify which one you are, and I don't think you have to stick to any of those dressing rules that come with those body types, but it can just be really liberating just to know which one you are. And then it can help you figure out why something that you're wearing feels off, even though on the model it looks really great. So after you get that general knowledge of your body type, decide for yourself, how do you want your clothes to fit on you? Do you want your clothes to be a little bit loose and oversized, slim to the body? And sometimes that takes like experimentation, trying on a lot of clothes. And I think here you can also think of a couple of words that describe how you want to feel in your clothes. Do you want to feel comfortable, cozy, empowered, confident? Just write down a couple of descriptive words and then try to buy clothes that make you feel that way. Also, just ignore all the size labels, because if you know that you want your shirt to fit a little bit oversized and you usually wear a medium, buy a large to get the oversized fit. The sizes really don't matter. It just matters how do you want your clothes to fit you. Try on different clothes until you kind of learn that for yourself, and I think that will really help you to build a wardrobe that just fits your body in a really natural sort of way. Okay, so next we want to think about our lifestyle and be honest with ourselves about what kind of clothes that we need. Because sometimes we love the idea of buying like really nice items that are sophisticated, super stylish, but maybe in reality your life is super casual, and that just wouldn't make sense in terms of like what you're wearing on a day-to-day basis. So again, you want to grab your notebook and you want to ask yourself, what kind of clothes do you need for the life that you live right now? And you can make yourself a little pie chart and think about like what percentage of your week is spent at work, what kind of clothes do you need for that, at home, relaxing, going out, any super dressy occasions that you have in your life. And kind of think about just as a whole what your wardrobe needs to look like. And then you could also make a pie chart of what your wardrobe is right now. So maybe you have a lot more dressy clothes, but you need a lot more casual clothes. And of course, this is going to be different for everyone. Just because you're at home doesn't mean that you want to wear sweatpants and leggings. Maybe for you, you want your home clothes to be nicer. Just write down whatever makes sense for you and what you want your dream wardrobe to look like. And I really would recommend to have your home clothes be nice, especially if you spend a lot of your time at home, because that's something that I had to learn over my style journey. When I first started building my wardrobe, I bought a lot of nice fancy things because that's what I saw in other people, and I thought that's the clothes that I need to have in my wardrobe. And then my whole balance was off because most of my life I was spent at home being a stay-at-home mom. And so then I had a couple of years where I was rebuilding my home clothes because I realized I actually want my clothes to be nice at home. So I bought myself a lot of like nicer sweaters, pants. It's a really great balance right now. I'm really happy with where my home clothes are at. So yeah, the main point of this exercise is to make sure that your clothes actually work for the life that you're living, because our closet is not a museum that we just open and look at. We actually want to wear those items and enjoy them and make getting dressed super easy and stress-free. So now that you have a clear picture of what you want your style to be, the next step is to go to your wardrobe and kind of take inventory of it, assess it, see if you have any items already that fit the style that you want to have. And my favorite way to do this is, instead of doing like a massive declutter where you pull out all your clothes, giant pile, super overwhelming. I think starting with what we like just makes the process so much easier. So just pull out all the items that you wear on a regular basis, anything that you feel really great in. And right away, I think that's gonna give you a really clear picture of what you're working with, what you have already, and what you might need to add in a future shopping trip. And it's up to you if you want to go farther into a deeper declutter or not. So if this is all you want to do at this point, you can just shove all the other clothes kind of in the back of your closet and just put your favorites in the front. Or if you have a little bit more energy, what you can do is sort the rest of the items into a no and maybe pile. And before you pack away the no's or donate them, I think it's a really great idea to just look at them and think about why you don't like them, why they're not working for you anymore. If it's things like fit, that's a really great thing to take note of. Like, is there something about the style or the color or the way the clothes fit that you don't like? And then write that down somewhere so that you don't buy those items again. If it's something to do with like the way the material shrank or twisted, then maybe take a look at the label, see what material it's made from, and stay away from that fabric or maybe that brand if they don't make good quality clothes. And then for all of your maybes, I think it's a really great idea to try them on one more time and really pay attention to, how do you feel in these clothes? Do you want to wear them again, or are you just ready to let them go? Take the no's out of your closet, maybe even pack away the maybes in a box somewhere else, just so that your closet is only full of the items that you love. And if you really miss those things that you put away, you can go back and get them, but for now it will just give you a really clear picture of what your style is. Hi guys, I'm just changing location to keep you engaged into this video. But our next step is to see what is missing from your wardrobe and make a really good wish list. So first, what you want to do is sort your clothes that you already like into like bottoms, tops, jackets, and kind of look at them as a whole. And you can start with the season that you are in or the season that you're building your wardrobe for. So see if you have enough tops, enough bottoms, enough jackets or shoes for that season. And if there's anything that you see that's missing right away, write it down and make a wish list for yourself. And I would recommend to make a separate wish list for things that you need and things that you want. Because we all know that sometimes we have like holes in our wardrobe that we really need to fill. And sometimes we just want things that are really cute and make us happy. So yeah, make a wish list for both of those categories. And here I would also recommend to decide for yourself how much items you are comfortable with buying in a year and how much you are willing to spend, because I think that's something that we don't talk about enough, but is super important. If you're on a budget, then of course you're not gonna be able to buy a ton of things. And even if you do have a lot of money, I would still recommend to shop as slowly as you can, because it really gives you time to like get to know the items that you bought, and you'll get to see if they're actually working or not for your wardrobe. Because if you buy a bunch of stuff at once, it's really gonna complicate things and you really won't be able to tell like what is working, what is not working, because there'll be too much new items to think about. If you want my opinion on how much you should buy, I think around 20 to 30 items a year is a really good number that makes it feel like you are buying enough to like build a good wardrobe, but you're not buying like 50 items and really overwhelming yourself. And if you did end up starting a style notebook, I think it's also a great idea to start tracking everything that you are buying throughout the year, because not only will you be able to track how much you're buying and maybe even write down what it costs, that will be a rude awakening for you at the end of the year. But also it will help you to stick to your wish list, because if you're suddenly noticing that you're buying a lot of random impulse things, you can be like, oh no, I need to stop and go back to my wish list that I made. And I think it's a great way to just keep yourself in check throughout the year as you are on this journey to build your dream wardrobe. Okay, so if you're feeling a little overwhelmed and you don't know what you actually need for your wardrobe, then I would recommend to start with basics. So basics are items that are a little bit more neutral in color and pattern. And the purpose of them is that you can use them to mix and match with any of your more like vibrant or pattern items in your closet, and they're usually gonna go with all of those more statement items. So if you really want that dream wardrobe that's super easy to mix and match, then you wanna have a good handful of basics in all these different categories. So for tops, depending on your lifestyle, maybe you need some t-shirts or some more dressier blouses or button-down shirts. For bottoms, you want to have a good collection of pants, jeans, skirts if you like to wear that. And all these basics should fit with your personal style again. So maybe you're more casual and like a casual t-shirt is enough for you. Or maybe you like to have a more like modern flair to all your basics. So you want to have like crop t-shirts. It doesn't have to be super plain. It just needs to be like neutral, timeless enough that it can go with many other things in your wardrobe. So after you have your basic items on your wish list or in your wardrobe, you want to start adding items that you're excited about that have a bigger impact on your wardrobe. They make a statement when people see them, and they're like a little bit more unique in their style. And for a really good wardrobe, I think you have to have a really nice balance of like basic and statement, because that's what makes style fun, when you can combine these different items together and make like super cool outfits. So I have a couple here to show you, to kind of show you an example. So first up, I have some sweatshirts. So this would be considered, you know, basic. It's just a crew neck that's cream. And then this one I consider my statement sweater, because it has a graphic print and it's kind of more like fun and unique. So even though still a sweatshirt is pretty basic in most people's opinion, but for my style that's more casual, this is a statement for me. So then I have these two t-shirts. This one I would consider basic. It's just like a striped t-shirt. This is also a striped t-shirt, but it's kind of more boxy and cropped. So this I consider my statement t-shirt. So yeah, the main point here is to make sure whatever statement items you add, they still align with your personal style again. So mine is casual, so all my items are kind of casual. And yeah, so think about what kind of statement items you want to add to your wardrobe that are really leaning towards the style that you want to have. Put them on your wish list and try to buy those to add to your wardrobe. Okay, so we do need to talk a little bit about color palettes, because this is actually very important for a versatile wardrobe. So if you've struggled in the past with putting outfits together and all the colors kind of clash and don't go together, this is where color palettes come in. So if you're completely rebuilding your wardrobe from scratch, then I think you should start with a neutral base of colors like black, white, beige, brown, navy. And then on top of those, you can add any statement colors that you really enjoy wearing. And even though this sounds kind of complicated sometimes, it really is as simple as that. You just want to have a wardrobe where the colors kind of complement each other and you can mix and match them together. And I do have a video that I made all about how to build a cohesive color palette that I will link in the description box. You can also watch it after this one. And this subject really does go more in depth if you want it to, so you could think even about like what kind of skin undertone you have, if you look better in warmer or cooler colors. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a lot of rabbit holes you can go down in that area. But at the very basics, you just want to have like some neutral colors that go well with some more bright colors and patterns. And as you're thinking about your color palette, it doesn't have to be boring or super neutral. It really is, again, dependent on your personal style. So you can have, you know, a lot of bold, colorful colors and patterns. You just want to have it like be balanced with more neutral items so that you don't get too bored with your wardrobe, because I personally find that if I have like some really bold items, you know, I don't want to wear them over and over again. I just want to wear them like, you know, 2-3 times and then take a long break. So that's why more neutral colors are really great to have in your wardrobe, because it actually makes your wardrobe more wearable and more enjoyable. So as we're making our wish lists and planning our purchases, it can be super tempting to just buy everything that we want at once and get it over with, but unfortunately that is not a good idea, and let me tell you why. In my personal experience, when I would buy a lot of things at one time, it just made my closet so cluttered and new that I just didn't know what to wear. I couldn't figure out if what I bought was working for me or not, because there was just too much new stuff to wear and go through. And that also leads to a lot of mistake purchases, which is something I'm sure that we don't want, because you know, we're wasting our money, we're wasting resources. So you really need to sit with your purchases every month and try them on, wear them at home, wear them out, to make sure that they're really like working with the rest of your wardrobe, and to make sure that the fit and the style is something that you actually want. And in terms of quality, it's always better to spend a little bit more on less items than to try to see like, can I get 10 items for $50, and you feel really good and thrifty because you got such a great deal, but there's a good chance that those things you bought are gonna fall apart right away because they were so cheap. And try not to fall for all those sales that just jump out at us and make us think that we need those items when maybe they weren't even on our wish list. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. And I think the most important part to building your dream wardrobe in a year is slow and steady really does win the race. Just like with the last tip, if you buy everything at once, there's going to be so much mistakes and you'll be discouraged. So don't rush this process. Keep taking inventory of the items that you buy. Keep track of if they worked out for you or not. Try to keep sticking to your wish list that you made for yourself so that you are like still on the right path always, and not suddenly veering off into lots of impulse purchases. And I would even say that you should expect mistake purchases, because it's all part of the process and it's not going to be perfect. You're gonna buy things that you are disappointed in or that don't work out for you. Maybe you'll have some guilt that you're wasting money or resources, but it really is part of the process, and it's part of how we learn what we like and we don't like. So keep going and don't give up, because it really feels amazing when you finally have a wardrobe that's like super versatile, super easy to build outfits, makes getting dressed in the morning so much easier. And this time next year, you could be in a completely different place with your wardrobe, where you love your clothes and just getting dressed is a joy instead of a struggle. So if you really want that for yourself, then keep going. Oh, and subscribe to my channel so I can help you along the way with your journey. Bye guys, you can do this.